even before I could read or write, my mom would write down my stories for me. I would tell her. She would write them down. They were Cinderella or Snow White. It was always fairy tales. And then I would draw the pictures. And then we would tape it together with Scotch tape.
I'm Terry Shepard. Laura Kemp is the author of 2 books, with a 3rd one on the runway for a 2022 release. She has a popular social media presence, and her street team checks in regularly on the Kemp Camp Facebook page. Laura's first novel, Evening in the Yellow Wood, was released in 2018. Snow in Summer came out in 2020. The final installment of the Yellow Wood trilogy, A Home for the Stars, is scheduled for release in 2022. Her journey to publication began in earnest when she entered the creative writing program at Western Michigan University.
Yes. Yeah, I was born and raised here in Michigan. I did spend some time in Kalamazoo when I went to college, and I lived up north in Rogers City, which is in the Alpena area, which is what I kind of based my book on. The summer I spent up there because I loved it so much.
She blends so much fun, romance, and the paranormal. You can't go wrong with any of that. I love it, and I love her. So I am just singing her praises all day long.
Well, the book is about a young woman named Justine, and she's 12 years old, and her dad just vanishes one day while she's swimming at the community pool with her friend. And she never really knows what's happened to him. And 10 years later, she's now 22, she sees his picture in a newspaper. The picture was taken in this small northern Michigan town based on Rogers City. But I changed the name to Lantern Creek to give it a mysterious quality. So she sees her dad's picture in the paper, and she wonders if she should take off and try to find him. And she does. She kind of just, it's kind of a fish out of water story where she just leaves, kind of like you did when you went to Florida. She kind of sells everything and leaves everything and takes off to this little town to find her dad. And she's not really supported by her mother. Her mother and her have a real icy relationship, and she doesn't really know why. And she gets north, and it then kind of turns into a Twin Peaks meets Northern Exposure with all of the, requisite kind of quirky characters that she runs into. She gets a job in a bar, and she meets a cute local cop, and she has a kind of a zany roommate and an older lady that lives next door that's kind of wise and sage. And it just kind of turns into this weird mixture of, like I said, kind of it's cross genre. It's so funny in some parts, and then it can turn quickly and become like terrifying. I've had readers tell me that they couldn't go to sleep after they read some of the parts, and she's like cracking jokes in the middle of it. You know what I mean? That you're like, oh, that's kind of funny, but she's running for her life and it's terrifying. But she's so fun. That's how I am in situations. I crack jokes. I don't know if it's appropriate always, but kind of gets you through the tough times. But she at the end kind of does discover what happened to her father, and rectifies her relationship with her mother. And it's kind of it was kind of a standalone. I mean, I wrap it up nicely, but the publishing house that I'm with was interested in a series. So I was very sad when it ended because I missed the characters, and I decided to turn it into a series. So it goes on past just this, her looking for her father, into more adventures. And she has there's a character on the autism spectrum that she communicates with that's based on a student, because I work with special needs kids that I worked with for many years. So a lot of the people and the characters in the book are actually based on people that I knew or ran into when I lived up north.
I think that Laura is a fantastic author in that she draws us into her world, to the place of northern Michigan, into her setting that she knows so intimately that even though I have not been there in real life, I feel like I know the place.
See, I had a first draft of this book, and it was nothing like the second draft. I think I wrote this first draft, and I was like, I just don't think it'll be published, and if it'll be published, I'm not sure it's as good as it can be. So I rewrote it, and I'm kind of a pantster when it comes. I just write and the characters kind of take off on their own and kind of tell me what they're going to do. And I had these basics that I wanted, but filling in between, it's like a dot to dot. I kind of knew where the dots were, kind of. And then the characters kind of filled in for themselves in between the dots. And at the end, it kind of all worked out. It's very twisty and turny. But yeah, it worked out. At the end, I don't do the outlines. I don't do the index cards. I don't do the, maybe I should. I've tried to do that, and then I just deviate from it. I just go off, like, two-tracking up north. You just two-track. You're going, and then you find a two-track, and you find it, and ooh, that one looks good. Ooh, that one looks good. That's what I do. I don't know why my parents let me. I have no idea why they thought that was a good idea. But they were kind enough to, sure, major in creative writing. So I did, and I had some great professor. Stuart Dybeck was teaching there. He's a short story out of Chicago. He's wonderful. I got a night class with him, maybe 10 students. He only taught like once every couple of years, and I got his class. And I turned in my first short story to him, and you always think, oh, I want to be a writer. Mom thinks I'm a great writer, but then you're turning something into Stuart Dybeck. You're like, well, now the rubber's going to hit the road. Am I a good writer? I don't know. So I was very nervous. And when I got my short story back, he wrote some things that he liked about it, some things that needed to be changed. And then at the very end, he said, in short, the talent here is obvious. This is one of the best stories of the semester. And I was like, oh, and then the light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Stu thinks I can do this. So when I got out of school with my degree, I started sending out short stories he had given me. I kind of stayed in touch with him and my playwriting teacher. It was playwriting back then. Is it screenwriting now? Now it was playwriting. I kept in touch with him, and they had given me advice, and I had a friend who was sending stuff out. And I just started sending stuff out to publishing houses and my short stories to literary magazines. And I started getting some publications, but it took a long time to get my first publication, probably 6 months. And then I went to New York and did the pitch slam with Writer's Digest and got some agents interested, but that kind of fell through when I came back. The agents either left their publishing house or they weren't interested in the full manuscript. So I started querying independent, smaller publishing houses, and Panda Moon Publishing picked me up after a long wait. I think I waited like 6 months to hear between they were interested and they accepted the full manuscript, and then they were interested in a series. So I expanded it into a series. But, it sounds sort of short and condensed, but it was, this is years and years and years. And I had a family and 2 children while I was writing this book, and divorced and remarried, and now with my blended family still writing the book. So it's just, I kind of feel like the books are another family member, and they followed me on my journey. These characters and these setting, it's kind of evolved with me in my life. I don't think I would have written the same book because I had that first draft that wasn't anything like the second. I don't think that I could have written the book that I wrote now without going through all of that stuff and that long, long process. I think it helped me become more well-rounded and my characters to become more well-rounded.
Every author has moments of doubt when we wonder if we will ever be successful. For Laura Kemp, the writing is the thing.
And I don't feel like it's a hard business, and you have to have a thick skin, and you get the bad reviews and you get the rejections. And I just love to write, and I just knew that I wanted to share the story with people, and I knew people would like it. And I just wanted it out there because I loved it so much. I had such a love for the story and the characters and the setting and I almost felt like, it was like when you asked me, was there a time when did you want to write? And I said, I don't remember not wanting to write. It's kind of the same way with the story. I don't remember not wanting the story to be out there. And I feel that way about every story that I write. I don't feel like I have any option but to write and publish. There's just no other option for me because I love it so much. And even though gives me fits, and we procrastinate, and oh, I don't want to write, and oh, I don't want to edit, and oh, I mean, there's nothing I'd rather do.
Building a fan base is the holy grail for every artist. Laura has been successful in cultivating a dedicated street team at her Facebook outpost, Kemp. The secret to her success? Keeping it real.
I don't have other people running that page. I have people helping me with my Instagram account. I have people helping me with my author page, but I don't have anybody else helping me with my Kemp Facebook page, which is where I get most of my engagement. It kind of spills off. And I think just because I want to keep it real between me and my readers. And I try to be really accessible. I really try to bring myself and my Michigan roots and my love of the woods and nature. And I try to be really responsive, and then have a variety of stuff that we do. We don't just sit around and talk about my books all the time. I invite other authors on to do takeovers. I do funny questions. I do dream casting, which is fun. I do virtual tours. Everybody's interested in these places. Are they real? I've always thought of getting a bus and taking a bunch of fans up to Rogers City. Go through Cadillac, right? But yeah, I think that it's been a process. It's been almost 2 years, 2.5 years that Kemp's been going. So it's just slowly, and I enter things and I try to get new members. It's just slow and steady and trying to be really authentic. And there's no negativity. If there's any negativity on the page or politics or anything it's gone immediately. It's not that kind of a place on Facebook. And people have thanked me for that.
We all live for those moments in the zone when what we are working on is flowing and we know in our hearts that the art we are creating has value. For Laura Kemp, that remains the goal and the ultimate high.
It's a dream come true to be able to write and know that the story that you're writing, that you have people wanting and waiting to read it. That's a wonderful feeling that you're writing stuff that people are waiting to read and they can't. It's almost like sometimes I wish that I could sit there and be the little person over watching one of my readers. Oh, they're getting to that part. Oh, because as writers, you write it and then you just send it off into a void and you have no idea if they're loving it. And I wish sometimes that I could be a fly on the wall